Power isn't about who shouts the loudest. It's about who can stay silent the longest. Think about that for a second, my friends. Because in a world where everyone's trying to prove their worth by chasing, explaining, begging or convincing, the real power lies in the one who knows how to pause. The one who doesn't fight for attention, but becomes the very center of it. They will come crawling back, crying. Not because you cast a spell, not because you begged, but because your silence spoke louder than their pride ever could. That's the power we're unlocking today, the kind of mental vibration that doesn't chase love. It summons it back. Before we dive deep into this, do me a quick favor. Press that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and stay with me till the end. Because once you understand this technique, once you master it, you'll never need to beg for someone's presence again. They'll start craving your absence instead. Hey folks, imagine this for a second. You're a lighthouse standing tall on a cliff while a storm rages around you. The waves crash, the wind howls, the sea tries to swallow everything in its path. But you don't move. You keep shining. The ships that once drifted away from your light, they always find their way back, because stability, calmness and strength are irresistible in a world full of noise. That's how powerful your inner vibration is when you stop chasing people and start mastering yourself. You stop being a beggar for love and become a beacon of it. You stop being an option and start being an experience. And the moment that happens, the people who once ignored you start feeling something strange, an ache, a pull, a magnetic restlessness. They don't understand why, but they feel it. It's your energy calling them home. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And that's exactly how energy works, my friends. If your mind is filled with fear, desperation, and self-doubt, that's the color you broadcast. But when your thoughts are calm, confident and certain, when your silence is steady, they can feel it from miles away. You become unforgettable. Now here's the lie we've been told since forever, that love is about effort, chasing, convincing, and proving. But that's not love, that's fear. Real love, real attraction is born from inner peace. It's not, how can I get them back? It's, how can I get me back? Because the moment you return to yourself, the world starts returning to you. So stop overthinking every text. Stop checking their status. Stop waiting for a sign. You are the sign. The vibration that moves mountains doesn't scream. It hums quietly from a heart that knows its worth. This video isn't about tricks or manipulation. It's about alignment, turning your heartbreak into your power source. Once you do, your energy becomes so balanced, so magnetic, that they won't be able to resist it. They'll feel your peace as their punishment, and your silence as their mirror. My friends, stay with me till the end of this video, because what I'm about to share next might just flip everything you thought you knew about attraction. It's not about begging them to come back. It's about becoming so complete, so centered, that they have no choice but to return to your gravity. Remember this affirmation, say it out loud right now, and write it in the comments below. I am the calm they crave. Type it, feel it, own it, and don't forget, press that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned. Because this, my friends, is just the beginning of something powerful. Number 1, the frequency of stillness. Silence is not weakness, it's the loudest scream of strength. Let that settle for a second, my friends, because in a world that teaches them to chase, explain, fix, and force, silence feels like death. But here's the truth. Silence isn't the absence of power, it's the concentration of it. The ones who learn to be still are the ones who start moving everything around them. Imagine this: they're standing in front of a mirror after the breakup. Their mind is racing, heart pounding, thoughts spinning like a storm. Should I call? Should I text? What if they forget me? What if they move on? The silence from the other side feels unbearable. It echoes like an empty hall. Every second of no contact feels like rejection, like being erased. But that's not rejection, it's reflection. The silence is not punishing them, it's forcing them to meet themselves. Most people run from silence because it reveals what they've been hiding. Their fear, their insecurities, their dependency. It's easier to stay loud, to talk, to post, to argue, to distract, than it is to sit still and face the vibration of their own thoughts. Yet it's in that stillness that real transformation begins. As Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly. Stillness is the furnace where self-control is forged. They think silence means losing the connection. They think if they don't reach out, they'll be forgotten. But the truth is the opposite. The quieter their mind becomes, the louder their presence grows. You see, when they stop chasing, the energy shifts. Their absence becomes their power. Their calm becomes their magnet. Because people don't crave noise, they crave peace. Picture a pond. When the surface is disturbed, it ripples, distorts, and everything beneath becomes blurry. That's how most people live after rejection, disturbed, reactive, trying to fix the reflection. But when the water becomes still again, everything becomes clear. That stillness isn't emptiness, it's alignment. It's when they start vibrating at a higher frequency, and that's when the world, yes, even the one who walked away, starts to notice. The fear that creeps in, the "what if they don't come back," isn't truth. It's panic disguised as logic. The mind hates losing control. But the irony is, the more control they try to have, the less power they actually feel. True strength begins when they stop fighting for attention and start creating presence. Because what's felt deeply never needs to chase. It simply exists. Think about it. When a lion walks through the jungle, it doesn't announce itself. The forest goes quiet. The energy shifts. That's what stillness does. It doesn't beg to be seen. It commands it. They don't have to post quotes about moving on or act unbothered for attention. Their energy already speaks louder than their words ever could. The calm becomes contagious. The silence becomes haunting, and soon the one who once ignored them starts wondering why the energy feels different, why their world feels off balance. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That's the core of this vibration technique. When they stop reacting, they regain their power. Their mind, once scattered by emotion, becomes focused like a laser. That focus doesn't just heal, it attracts. Because emotional control is the most magnetic energy in existence. But let's be honest, it's not easy. The silence feels heavy at first. The ego screams, "They'll forget you." The mind whispers, "Maybe you should reach out." But that's just the residue of old programming, the belief that love must be earned through effort. That lie has destroyed more peace than heartbreak ever could. Because the truth is, they don't have to fight to be remembered. When they master their vibration, their energy will do the remembering for them. Stillness is not passive, it's preparation. It's when the universe rearranges things quietly. It's when the other person starts to feel the pull again. They don't understand why they suddenly think about them, why their dreams replay old memories, why their heart feels uneasy. That's the echo of emotional alignment. That's the frequency of stillness rippling across distance and time. My friends, understand this deeply. Energy doesn't chase, it aligns. They are not losing them in silence, they are regaining themselves. Because what's truly meant for them doesn't need convincing, manipulation, or fear. It will always resonate with the frequency they hold. That's why they must raise it. They must become peace itself. And when they do, the game changes. Their ex, the one who thought they moved on, will feel the shift. The conversations they avoided will echo louder in their mind. The calm that once felt boring will suddenly feel addictive. That's how powerful emotional stillness is. It becomes a mirror. It forces others to see the chaos within themselves, and nothing haunts a person more than losing someone who found peace. So, to everyone listening right now, stop fearing silence. Embrace it. Let it become your sanctuary, not your prison. The moment they stop chasing external validation, they'll begin to hear their own vibration again, their intuition, their clarity, their purpose. Because when they rise above noise, they rise above control. You are not being ignored, you are being refined, you are not being punished, you are being prepared. Every second of stillness is shaping the person they will regret losing and the person you were always meant to become. So, breathe in deeply right now, my friends, and feel that calm spreading through your chest. That's your power returning. That's your energy aligning. Say this out loud and type it in the comments below. I do not chase. I radiate. They feel me without a word. Show it to yourself. Show it to the world around you, and stay with me, because what's coming next will show you exactly why your silence is not just strength. It's the vibration that pulls them back, crying, without you lifting a single finger. Number 2, the collapse of neediness. Need is the fastest way to kill attraction. Read that again, my friends, because it cuts deep. Every time they try to hold tighter, they push farther. Every time they try to chase, they lose power. It's one of life's cruel ironies. The more desperate they are to be loved, the more unlovable they seem. But the truth is not cruel, it's corrective. It teaches them that real power never begs. It simply exists, calmly, certain that what belongs to it will stay. Imagine they're holding water in their hands. At first, it feels good. It's theirs. But the moment they clench their fists in fear of losing it, the water slips through their fingers. That's what neediness does. It's a force that tries to hold, but ends up losing. The universe doesn't respond to clutching. It responds to flow. When they loosen their grip, they stop leaking energy and start radiating it. My friends, neediness isn't love. It's fear wearing perfume. It says, I'm scared to lose you, not I'm ready to grow with you. And fear, no matter how much you disguise it, always smells like desperation. It makes them text too soon, explain too much, overthink every word, every silence, every pause. And the worst part? It convinces them that chasing equals effort, that proving themselves equals love. But that's the lie they must break. Because the moment they stop trying to prove their worth, they'll finally remember they had it all along. Let's be real, it's difficult. The human mind is wired for attachment. They want closure, reassurance, validation. They want to know, do they still care? Do they miss me? Do they think of me? But what if that's not their job to know? What if the moment they stop asking those questions, they actually start receiving the answers through silence? Because sometimes the silence is the answer. It's saying, heal first, attract later. When they act from need, they vibrate scarcity. They send a signal that says, I am incomplete without you. But when they act from strength, they vibrate abundance. I am complete, and that completeness pulls what's mine toward me. This is the collapse of neediness. It's not destruction, it's rebirth. It's when the old, fearful self dies and the calm, magnetic one takes its place. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." The same applies to love. The one who lets go of need becomes untouchable. They no longer fear losing someone because they realize they never had control to begin with. What they do have control over is their peace, and that's where the real power lives. Think of it like a flame. When they're needy, the flame flickers. It's unstable, weak, desperate for oxygen. But when they're calm, the flame steadies. It doesn't move frantically. It stands tall, glowing, drawing eyes without effort. People are drawn to that kind of flame, not because it chases them, but because it reminds them of something rare: balance. The mind will fight this at first. It'll whisper, "If I don't reach out, they'll forget." It'll say, "If I don't try, I'll lose them forever." But that voice isn't truth, it's addiction. They've been conditioned to chase validation since childhood. Society told them that love is earned, that silence is rejection, and that detachment means they don't care. But the opposite is true. Detachment is the ultimate form of care. It's love purified of fear. When they stop reacting, something beautiful happens. They start hearing themselves again. Their thoughts quiet down. Their energy stops leaking. Their emotions stop spiraling. They start walking differently, calmer, lighter, untouchable. And slowly, that energy radiates outward. The people who once overlooked them start noticing again. The ones who took them for granted start feeling uneasy. They wonder, what changed? Why do I feel their absence more now than ever before? That's not coincidence, that's vibration. Because nothing screams confidence louder than someone who no longer needs to prove their worth. That energy is unforgettable. It's what makes others double-take, rethink, and eventually return. And when they do, they won't know it was their calmness that pulled them back. They'll just feel the difference and mistake it for fate. So, my friends, if they're struggling right now, if they're in that tug-of-war between holding on and letting go, choose peace. Let the needy self collapse. Let the version of them that chases dissolve. That version was never who they really were. It was who pain made them become. The truth is, love that's real doesn't demand sacrifice of self. It grows where freedom breathes. And once they stop needing, they start attracting. Because what's meant for them doesn't require pressure. It responds to presence. Breathe deep right now and say this with me. My silence is not absence, it's correction. Write it in the comments below, show it to yourself and to the world around you. Let them feel your calm, not your craving. Because when need collapses, power rises. And that, my friends, is when the real attraction begins. Stay with me, because what's coming next will show you how this calm energy starts echoing in their mind until they can't resist reaching back. Number 3. The mirror effect. Whatever you hold inside, the world reflects back. That's not philosophy, my friends, it's psychology, because whether they realize it or not, people don't fall in love with others first. They fall in love with how those people make them feel. And when someone leaves, when they pull away, they're not just reacting to your actions, they're reacting to your energy. That's what I call the mirror effect. Life doesn't give them what they want, it gives them who they are. Picture this, they're standing in front of a perfectly still lake. The surface is smooth, calm, reflective. They smile, and the reflection smiles back. But then they pick up a stone, fear, anger, anxiety, and toss it in. The surface ripples, distorts, breaks apart. Suddenly, they can't see themselves anymore. That's what happens when they let fear control them after rejection or heartbreak. The moment they panic, overthink, chase, or try to control, the energy ripples, and what comes back is confusion, mixed signals, and emotional distance. They often say, "I didn't do anything wrong. Why did they leave?" But the answer is hidden in vibration, not behavior. Maybe they were doing the right things, but from the wrong energy, from need, from fear, from attachment. And fear, no matter how kind it looks on the surface, repels. It's like perfume on poison. It smells sweet at first, but the energy underneath always reveals itself. The mirror effect means that everything they send out emotionally returns in some form. When they broadcast calmness, they attract curiosity. When they radiate confidence, they attract attention. When they stay grounded in silence, they create mystery. But when they broadcast desperation, they attract avoidance. When they vibrate fear, they attract chaos. The universe, people, energy, it all mirrors what they project. Epictetus said, "Circumstances don't make the man, they reveal him." The same applies in relationships. The breakup didn't destroy their peace. It revealed how fragile it was. Their silence isn't punishment, it's reflection. And when they start healing, when they start vibrating differently, the people who once caused them pain will feel it. Because energy doesn't just disappear, it transfers. Now, I know what they might be thinking. But how can they feel my energy if we're not talking? My friends, energy doesn't need Wi-Fi. The mind and heart are connected through what modern psychology calls emotional resonance. It's that invisible frequency that connects people long after words stop. Ever thought about someone and they suddenly text you? That's not coincidence. That's energetic alignment, the mirror in motion. When they panic and chase, they broadcast instability. When they let go, they broadcast peace. And people crave peace more than anything else. It's rare, it's addictive, it's unforgettable. That's why, when they finally stop forcing things, the one who left starts feeling uneasy. They don't understand why, they just feel something's shifted. Suddenly, their world feels off balance, their emotions get louder, their sleep feels restless. That's not magic. That's the mirror effect reflecting back the silence and self-respect they've built. Think of it like this: two tuning forks side by side. When one vibrates, the other starts vibrating at the same frequency. That's resonance. That's how emotion travels. When they shift from sadness to strength, from panic to peace, the energy they once shared will begin to realign. The other person's emotions will start mirroring that change, whether they want to or not. And here's the beautiful irony: they spent so much time trying to make that person understand their worth through words. But the real proof of worth never comes from convincing, it comes from vibration. When they heal, the mirror heals. When they find peace, others feel the lack of it. And that's when the reflection changes, when their calm becomes more powerful than their pain ever was. Of course, this isn't easy. The mind will say, "They're gone, they don't care." The heart will whisper, "Reach out." But the truth? When they stop chasing, they allow energy to catch up. Because silence doesn't end connection, it deepens it. It turns emotional noise into awareness. And when awareness grows, that's when attraction is reborn. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." So, if they want different results, they must change the color of their energy. Stop painting with panic. Start painting with power. Let calmness become their new signal and watch how the reflection changes. The person who once ignored them will start feeling drawn again, not to the old version that needed them, but to the new one that doesn't. The mirror effect is simple but profound. Heal within, and they'll feel it without. When they fix their vibration, the reflection naturally follows. When they respect their silence, their energy becomes a language only the soul can understand. So, my friends, here's the truth. They don't need to send a message to be remembered. They just need to send energy that says, I'm no longer broken, I'm whole, because that's what creates the pull, the emotional echo they can't escape. Take a breath, feel your energy settle, and now say it with me and write it in the comments below. I am the mirror they can't look away from. Show it to yourself. Show it to the world around you, because what comes next will reveal exactly how this mirror doesn't just reflect them, it transforms them. And when that happens, my friends, everything begins to return. Number 4, reclaiming your core power. Once you stop feeding what drains you, your power begins to return. That, my friends, is the truth most people never realize until it's too late. They give so much of their energy away through overthinking, worrying, chasing, checking, explaining, that by the time they're left alone, they don't even recognize themselves anymore. Their power didn't disappear, it was simply scattered. And this section, right here, is about calling it all back. Imagine a sun that forgot it was a star. For so long, it gave its light away to someone who stood in its orbit, but never reflected any warmth back. It burned itself out, trying to keep someone else comfortable. That's what happens when they forget who they are after rejection or heartbreak. They start believing the lie that their value depends on someone's validation. They begin to orbit others instead of standing in their own light. But here's the truth. The moment they stop chasing, the universe starts adjusting itself around them again. Because power doesn't need to announce its return, it simply glows differently. Let me ask you, my friends, how many times have they lost sleep replaying conversations that no longer matter? How many times have they checked their phone, hoping for a message that never comes? That mental loop is an energy leak. It's like trying to fill a cup with a hole at the bottom. No matter how much love they pour into it, it keeps running empty. But when they decide to stop pouring, to seal that hole with silence and self-respect, everything changes. Suddenly, their energy begins to pool again. They start feeling their strength instead of their fear. Reclaiming power isn't about revenge. It's not about showing the other person how strong they are. It's about remembering they never stopped being strong. Their mind wants to tell them, you lost them, but the truth is, they lost access to you. To your light, your laughter, your care, your presence. That's the moment the balance shifts, the moment they remember they were never the one chasing. They were the prize that forgot its value. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When they learn to master their emotions after heartbreak, they become untouchable. The one who once controlled their peace suddenly loses their power. Why? Because they're no longer reacting. They're no longer explaining. They're no longer allowing someone else's silence to define their worth. Their stillness becomes louder than any message they could send. Picture it this way. Imagine pulling all the cords of energy you've ever sent out, every thought, every memory, every emotional investment, and wrapping them gently back around yourself. That's not selfishness, that's spiritual maturity. Every time they choose not to text, not to beg, not to chase, they're saying, "My peace matters more than my pain." And that, my friends, is how kings and queens are built. The beautiful part, when they reclaim their energy, they start glowing differently. People notice. The one who left starts feeling it too. It's not always immediate. It's subtle, quiet, yet undeniable. They'll think of them randomly, dream about them, feel a strange pull they can't explain, because energy never lies. The person who once drained them begins to crave what they once took for granted, their calmness, their light, their strength. But make no mistake, reclaiming power is not easy. It's uncomfortable. It feels unnatural at first because the ego loves control. It wants to prove, to win, to fix. Yet real strength comes from doing the opposite. From not reacting, not forcing, not proving. Every moment they choose calm over chaos, they reclaim another piece of themselves. And soon they'll look back and realize that the person they were trying to impress was never above them. They were beneath the version they're becoming. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That's the energy of power reclamation. Stop trying to make them see your worth. Start being your worth, because the day they see you fully standing in your peace, they'll know exactly what they lost. They'll feel it in every silence, every unanswered text, every moment they realize you don't need them anymore. That's when their craving begins. Not for your attention, but for your energy. So, my friends, from this moment forward, stop scattering your light. Don't give it to memories that no longer feed your soul. Don't waste it explaining your value to those who were blind to it. Pull it back, gather it. Let it fill you until your presence feels whole again. Because once your energy returns, so does your magnetism. And the one who left will feel it like a gravitational pull they can't resist. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and repeat this with me. When I return to myself, the world follows. Type it in the comments below. Let it echo through your energy and show it to the world around you. Because what's coming next, my friends, will teach you exactly how to turn that energy you've reclaimed into pure magnetic force. The kind that doesn't chase anyone, but silently pulls everything meant for you right back home. Number 5, the vibrational reset technique. Peace is the highest form of power. Remember that, my friends, because when everything feels like it's falling apart, when their mind is racing and their heart is screaming, peace becomes their secret weapon. This is where the real transformation begins, not in control, not in chasing, but in mastering their own vibration. The vibrational reset isn't about forcing someone to come back. It's about returning home to themselves so powerfully that the world, and yes, even the one who left, feels the shift. So take a deep breath right now, in through the nose, out through the mouth. That's not just air moving, it's energy resetting. Imagine their mind as a spinning wheel that's been turning too fast for too long, burning energy on worry, doubt, and fear. Each breath slows that wheel down. Each exhale releases the noise. The first step of this technique is simple but sacred. They must quiet the mind to awaken the power beneath it. Hey folks, imagine a radio stuck between two stations. Static, noise, distortion. You can't hear the music clearly. That's what emotional chaos does to vibration. It scrambles the signal. But when they calm down, when they breathe deeply and center themselves, the signal clears. And that's when the universe starts to respond, because clarity attracts clarity. Stillness attracts direction. Calmness attracts what chaos once chased away. The second step is to reconnect with their body. The body is the antenna of the soul, and right now it's holding on to energy that isn't theirs. Worry, guilt, maybe even shame. So let it go. Relax their shoulders, unclench their jaw, drop the weight they've been carrying. Imagine a soft golden light forming in the center of their chest, glowing gently, expanding outward with each breath. That light represents their peace, their control, their magnetic essence. It's not reaching for anyone, it's simply radiating the way the sun shines without effort. Now, my friends, as that light grows stronger, imagine it spreading through every inch of their being, down their arms, through their fingertips, through their heart, into their legs, until they're surrounded by a warm cocoon of calm. This is not fantasy, it's frequency. Their body is an instrument and emotion is the sound. When they vibrate calm, they play a song that others can't help but notice. The person who left begins to sense it. The people around them begin to feel it, because balance has a sound and silence has power. At this stage, most people fall into a trap. They think, if I stay calm, maybe they'll come back faster. But that's not true calm. That's control in disguise. The point of the vibrational reset isn't to manipulate anyone. It's to free themselves from dependence. True detachment isn't pretending not to care. It's realizing they no longer need to. Once they release that mental grip, the vibration shifts from lack to abundance. And abundance doesn't chase, it attracts naturally. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." It takes courage to stop reacting. It takes bravery to let things unfold without forcing them. But in doing so, they become free. Free from emotional slavery, free from overthinking, free from the weight of trying to be enough. That's the state where attraction becomes effortless. Now, bring the focus back to that golden light in their chest. With each breath, let it expand beyond the body. Imagine it surrounding them like an invisible field, a calm, magnetic force that moves with them wherever they go. That's their new vibration. That's their signal to the universe. I am calm. I am certain. I am centered. Keep repeating that, my friends. Calm, certain, centered. Because when the vibration is steady, everything unstable around them starts to shift. The one who left will start to notice something's different. Their energy feels unfamiliar now, stronger, steadier, unreachable. That's the silent pull that begins the return. But they must remember, it's not about waiting, it's about becoming. When they align their inner peace with their purpose, people, opportunities, and love start flowing back. Not because they begged, but because they finally matched the frequency of wholeness. The beauty of this technique is that it's not magic, it's mastery. They're not summoning anyone, they're summoning themselves. And that self, that calm, confident, radiant self, is what everyone, including their ex, will feel. Because peace is louder than pain. Silence speaks louder than explanation. And balance, that's what the human soul craves most. So, my friends, here's your reminder. When the urge to react hits, when the pain tries to take control, stop, breathe, close your eyes, let that golden light return. That's your reset. That's your reminder that power isn't outside, it's within. Say this with me right now and write it in the comments below. I am not waiting. I am becoming. Show them your growth. Show the world your calm. Because what's coming next will reveal exactly how this new vibration, the one you've just activated, starts echoing in their mind until silence becomes their craving and peace becomes your superpower. Number 6. The return, why they feel it. The energy you withdraw is the energy they start to chase. My friends, that's not fantasy, it's human psychology. When they stop giving, the absence becomes louder than their words ever were. You see, people rarely notice your presence while they have it. They notice it when it's gone. That's when the silence begins to speak in a language their soul can finally hear. That's when the vibration you've been rebuilding begins to echo in their mind like a song they can't turn off. Imagine this. They were once standing under the warmth of your sun, your energy, your laughter, your presence. It lit up their world. But they got used to it. They started taking the light for granted, assuming it would always be there. And then one day, that light pulled back. The warmth faded. The glow was gone. At first, they don't notice. It's comfortable darkness. But then, slowly, they start to shiver. The world feels colder, empty. That's when they realize it wasn't the light that needed them. It was them who needed the light. That's how it works when you reclaim your energy. They start to feel the void. Your silence becomes their mirror. Your calm becomes their discomfort. It's not about revenge, it's resonance. The energy they used to depend on is gone, and now they're left facing their own. Let's break it down in real terms. Every human being is wired for emotional connection. Our brains release dopamine and oxytocin when we bond with someone. It's addictive. But when that bond is broken, the withdrawal hurts. And if you were the one giving more, loving deeper, showing up stronger, then they were feeding off your energy. When you walk away, that supply vanishes. They start going through emotional withdrawal. They replay memories, scroll through photos. Imagine what you're doing now. That's not just nostalgia. That's vibrational craving. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." When your thoughts rise above need and desperation, when they vibrate calm, that's when they feel it most. Because the universe and the mind operates on contrast. They feel your absence because your peace creates it. Your detachment highlights their imbalance. That's why people often return right when you finally stop wanting them. It's not coincidence. It's energetic cause and effect. Think about a swimmer who drifts too far from shore. At first, they're confident, enjoying the distance, thinking they can handle the waves. But as they go farther, the water gets colder, the current gets stronger, and fear sets in. They start to crave the feeling of safety, the shore they left behind. That's what happens when they leave someone whose energy once grounded them. They thought freedom felt good until it felt empty. Now, my friends, this part is crucial. They're not coming back because of guilt or pity. They come back because their soul recognizes the frequency of peace you've built. It's not your old energy they crave, it's your evolved energy. The version of you that stopped needing, that radiates confidence, that walks with calm certainty. That energy is irresistible because it's rare. Most people live in chaos. When someone moves in peace, it's magnetic. But this is where many lose their balance. They mistake the return for validation. They think, they came back, I won. No. The real victory is that your energy became so powerful, they had no choice but to feel it. Whether they stay or not doesn't define your success. Your calm does. The goal isn't to pull them back. It's to stay so aligned that whatever returns can only match your peace, not disturb it. Remember, my friends, peace doesn't beg, it attracts. Love that's pure doesn't chase, it flows. When you withdraw your energy, you're not punishing them, you're protecting yourself. You're saying, I won't vibrate at a frequency of pain anymore. And that's the message the universe always rewards. Seneca once wrote, "He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior." You're not fighting them, you're mastering yourself. Every time you resist reacting, you're training your energy to speak louder than your emotions. And it's that quiet power that they'll feel, because while words can be ignored, energy cannot. So, when you start feeling that pull, the random thoughts about them, the subtle sense that they're thinking of you, it's not your imagination, it resonates. Your calmness is creating imbalance in them. Your silence is whispering, I've changed. And that whisper becomes a roar inside their mind until they can't resist it anymore. Take a breath right now. Feel the stillness in your body. That's your frequency leveling up. You've stopped chasing and started vibrating. You've stopped needing and started attracting. That's the difference between desire and power. Say this with me out loud, my friends, and write it in the comments below. They are not coming back to my past. They are drawn to my peace. Show it to yourself. Show it to the world around you, because what's coming next will show you exactly how to handle their return without breaking your vibration, your power, or your peace. Stay with me, because the next part is where everything shifts. Number 7, when they reach out. Power is measured by your ability to stay calm when chaos returns. My friends, remember this one truth. When they finally reach out, your reaction determines everything, not theirs, not the message, not the apology. Your energy is the deciding factor, because after all the silence, all the distance, all the nights you spent rebuilding your vibration, they will feel it. And when they do, curiosity becomes restlessness, restlessness becomes craving, and craving becomes action. They'll reach out, maybe with a simple text, maybe with an apology that sounds casual but hides a storm underneath, or maybe with silence disguised as an excuse to reconnect. But here's where most people lose their power. They break their vibration the moment the phone lights up. The calmness they spent weeks cultivating vanishes, replaced by that old energy of need. Their heart starts racing, their mind starts spinning, and suddenly they're back to that version of themselves that used to beg, overthink, and react. My friends, that's the test. That message isn't about words, it's about frequency. The universe is checking if they've truly become what they claim to be. Imagine they're sitting on a throne. A messenger walks in holding a scroll. The messenger doesn't speak, the message does. The king doesn't jump to grab it, doesn't stumble off his seat in excitement. He waits, he observes, he decides when to respond. That's how they must treat this moment, not with arrogance, but with grace. Because calmness is the language of self-respect. And nothing confuses someone who once had control more than seeing they no longer do. Here's the truth most never see. When they reach out, it's rarely because they suddenly realized everything. It's because they felt the absence of your energy. They're searching for the old vibration, the one that used to feed them validation, comfort, attention. But when they sense your new calm, it's disorienting. It forces them to reflect. It makes them question, and that's exactly where your power lies, in not giving them what they expect. If you respond, do it from your higher self, not your wounded self. That means no bitterness, no guilt trips, no over-explaining. The strongest message is composed in silence and spoken through stability. They'll test it. They might say things to provoke a reaction, to see if you still care, to see if they still have power. But when you reply with calm confidence, or choose not to reply at all, you remind them, I am no longer who I was when you left. Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. That applies here. Don't respond out of impulse. Don't react out of fear. Let your energy answer before your words do. Because when your energy is calm, your silence becomes louder than any explanation could ever be. The old version of you used to react instantly. The new one pauses, thinks, and responds only when it aligns with peace. Now, my friends, I know what some of you are thinking, but what if they've really changed? What if this is my second chance? Maybe it is. But the test is not about them changing, it's about you staying centered. If they've truly evolved, they'll match your calm. They'll respect your stillness. They'll speak with clarity, not confusion. But if they haven't, your peace will repel them because it exposes their chaos. And that's how you'll know. Here's what's beautiful. Whether they stay or go after reaching out, you win either way. Because you didn't crumble, you didn't lose your center, you didn't trade your peace for temporary comfort, you stayed aligned. That's what makes them respect you, even if they don't say it. Even if they walk away again, they'll never forget that vibration. Because the person who no longer reacts becomes unforgettable. Think about it. When you look calm while others expect chaos, you become the storm they can't control. That's power. That's an attraction. That's the energy of someone who no longer seeks to prove anything. The kind of calm that says, "I'm not here to be chosen. I'm here to choose." So, the next time that message appears, the next time the past comes knocking, breathe, smile. You already know what it means. It's confirmation that your silence worked, your energy spoke, and your vibration reached them. But remember, you're not the same anymore. This time, it's not about them. It's about protecting the peace you fought to build. Repeat this with me right now and type it in the comments below. My calm is louder than their words. Write it, claim it, show it to yourself, show it to the world around you. And before you go, if this message hit you deep, if it reminded you of your worth, your peace, your quiet power, press that like button right now. Subscribe to stay with me, because this journey of self-mastery doesn't end here. Share this video with someone who needs to remember their own strength. Because when we rise together, the world learns what true power looks like. Silence that speaks, peace that pulls, and calm that commands.